Josh Kerr in New York City. What is this, year 4 or 5 in Millrose Games?
I mean, I ran in college here, and so that must have been 7 years ago, and so I must have missed a couple of years in there, but yeah, something like that.
Pretty deep field in the mile.
Yeah.
Is it business as usual? You can hopefully use that to compete to an even greater level?
Yeah, I think the mile's in a really good spot, and so I'm really happy that Ray and all the people part of the meet haven't just packed the mile with a bunch of bodies. That's been seen to be done before other meets, so they've done a really good job handpicking the right athletes to be in there, and I think people are going to be ready to rip, so we can't complain. It'll be going in and competing for that big trophy again.
How's it tasting, lad?
Yeah, fantastic, mate.
Come on.
It's just good to have the general similar diet throughout everything that we do. Yeah, no change. Similar setup as much as we can. That's what we're going for across the board, really. Which is why we have so many people out here all the time. It's a treat, mate.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
And how many miles do you usually warm up for?
3. Today I'll run 4 for the pre-meet. 4 or 5 miles, and then I'll do some drills. I'll run like a medium pace 300 and then a harder 200 and then some starts. Pretty much all she wrote for me normally. And yeah, see how the body's going. It's a tough life.
Good morning, New York City. A bright and sunny day here as we begin the countdown to the 2025 Millrose Games.
I think for me, I like to race rather sparingly and in events that I can get excited about, and this is one of them. I think going back to you talking about if this track's going to be fast, I think we get blessed with a lot of amazing tracks, but I think it's more the atmosphere that is the reason that this meet is so good every year. I don't think it's really the track, I think it's the energy in the stadium, and I think it was the same in Paris, so I would expect some pretty big results across the board. Yeah.
After such a tremendous year, how do you change your training in any which way to prepare for this year?
Only to kind of keep it fresh, but not because we think we need to change anything. I think people can get wound up on the 0.0s of a second when you're looking at the medals, and to be honest, I think it's more like what have you done to be able to get to that spot versus what can we do to get to the next spot. I think consistency at this highest level is what really brings a great career versus being like, oh, I need 0.0 whatever, or I need 0.1. I don't see the 1500 that way. Maybe other events, but not what we do. I think to be able to do what we do, we have to balance strength and speed.
It feels great. It's always, I normally start the season off in the Millrose Games, and it's nice to be back down to the mile distance. I think 3K and 2 mile, they were fun, but they're just hard. They're long, hard efforts. So it's good to be back to the home distance. Yeah, I think it's definitely the thing I lack the least is confidence going into races. I think I've been doing it for a long time, and each race obviously provides its own challenges. But you've got to work your way through those, and it's not much that a race has thrown at me recently that I haven't been able to have to deal with. So it's we're building on last year's efforts and success, and trying to see if we can have another great year.
I think Hobbs after last week will have more confidence and want to really go for it, so he'll be antsy. I'm guessing around anywhere between lap 5 and 7. They're saying the pacer's going to go saying he wants to go till 1200, but they want him just to a K and then let the race happen. So my idea would be I'm going to have to make a move at some point, but we just need to make it as late as possible. I think I just need to hang around, and if it slows down I can make a move in the last 2 laps. You know what I mean? Like if it's like I'm gonna wait. It's just so hard to pass someone if we slow down.
Yeah.
In the last 200.
Yeah, if it slows, I would be surprised if one of those guys slows it down.
Yeah. It's just like in previous years, what's been happening is that it's been fast the first 600, and there's almost been movement and gaps, and then whenever the pacer comes out, it just kind of comes back like this.
Yes.
And so that's what I mean by I think it will slow a little bit, especially if they want 153 through AA, so they want it through the half. So that's like 152. And I told them, I was like, we should have it slower. I said we should be even split, like at fastest, if not slower.
So there's a chance that that nobody goes with the pacer because they're probably expecting you to do it.
Yeah. But this is the thing is like if I was the one saying that I want to go after the world record, then yeah. But like I haven't even said that, and I even said yesterday, I was like, I don't really care. I don't care about the pace. Like the speed will come.
Yard said the same thing.
I don't know. I do think that if Yard has to run the full thing up the front, he might panic a little bit when the pace drops out. I don't think he goes from far out at that point. Yeah. I think it slows down a touch. And I think if he does that, I can't. If I'm behind him, if he's behind me or I'm behind him with 200 to go, and we have energy, you're not passing each other. Yeah. It's just difficult. Right. And so I would either have to make a move on instinct within 2 laps to go, or just wait for that last turn and just be right on him, and just not give him any breathing room. So he has to go all out before that last bend, and he'll start nosing out a little bit. It's the best I can think of, really. Fine.
Like he had more gears?
Yes. Yeah. I definitely have more gear. I feel speedy. Like those 150s felt good, you know. And then we ran that 49. That felt good. Can I just do that on the back of a bunch of 28s? That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
I just need to not waste energy. Good. Yeah, I feel good. I think today was a huge confidence boost for me. Like even that little tempo stuff we did before, I was like, okay, we're back, we're fine. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it just, the adrenaline will take care of a lot. So.
Yeah.
Just need to stick to instinct a little bit. Which was nice after the travel.
Really going to do a lot of stuff on the sacrum today, guys, to kind of check it out because we haven't done a ton. Yeah.
Okay.
You call both of your pieces of your pelvis your innominate.
Right.
So there's one right innominate, left innominate, and it's connected by your sacrum in the back and your pubic symphysis in the front. So let's see if we can work on some of this. Okay, back on this side. Quick adjustment. Go. It's the first time we got cracked on both sides, isn't it? Good. Where's your bow bar?
Ready. Yeah, good idea.
All right, I'll circle back with you in a minute.
Cheers. Bye.
All right, yeah, bye. So we got some news last night. Josh started throwing up around 11 p.m. and hasn't stopped. For the past month, this altitude camp has been a little bit tricky for us. We've had norovirus circling the country, really, but really blowing through the ranks of our team. It's taken me out personally, in addition to, I want to say, 75% of our squad. So unfortunately, last evening, I think Josh has succumbed to that as well. Couldn't be worse timing. We have Millrose this afternoon at 5, and now it's trying to make the right call and see if he should race or he shouldn't. Josh is the type of athlete that, it doesn't matter what it's thrown his way. He could have got hit by a car this morning. He's still going to want to step up to that start line. So now it's a tricky position to be in from a coaching perspective to make the right call for the future of his season, in addition to his immediate health.
Is he trying to race on it still?
Yeah, it seems like based upon his vocabulary and his connotation, like he wants to keep going about today about in the light of racing.
Yeah, I'm aligned with you in terms of not having a race.
There's a couple questions here, but if my goal would be, because obviously we have, 7.5 hours, like to just go through the routine a little bit longer and see how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we don't really lose a lot from that,
Right.
I understand where you guys are at, for sure. I get that.
Yeah. Because there's your hip too, like.
Yeah, there's a lot of logic in what you guys are saying, for sure. Try and eat something here in a little bit, and then maybe go for a jog.
Okay.
We can then make the final decision after that.
Okay. What do you think, Julian?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I think that, I was telling Danny just a second ago, Josh, that if you can't keep food down, I think the answer is really obvious if it's not obvious already. So I think trying some food is the next logical step.
Okay, yeah. I was going to see if Nicole could make me a pancake right now.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, and yeah, I'm texting Dr. Kyle about some options as well. But I am feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
I can hear the judgment of like that doesn't sound good. I know that, and like, but like, you know, and I know I'm asking for a miracle a little bit, but like, you know, that's what stories are made for, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Michael Jordan game where he has the flu and he scores 37 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they like carry him off the court. That doesn't work in a mile.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we were questionable to like give this a go to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is like the final blow, is how I look at it.
All right. Well, I'll check in with you guys in the next kind of 30 minutes, an hour, and try and get some food down here, and then we'll chat again.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks, Josh.
All right, appreciate it. Bye.
Right.
Okay, bye, Julian.
One of the aspects of like why I understand why he wants to race is because the past two Millrose games he's created magic. There's been no reason that he should have won the past two. For example, 2 years ago, he was sick as a dog, had boogers just falling down his nose. He was sending me pictures of like snot bubbles coming out. It was ridiculous. The guy didn't sleep all night and then somehow just pulls a win out of his ass. All of us thought that, you know, it was going to go horrible, and somehow he did it. Go back to last year. Same scenario, dealing with a less than ideal build. None of us think he's capable of hitting that world record, and somehow manages to do it. And so, you know, I do think that there's magic on that track, and Josh has proven that he can beat the odds, even when the staff doesn't believe so. So I get why he wants to race. But at the end of the day, this is the longest season by far that we're attempting to hit. You know, we're doubling the amount of races that he's going to run this year. World is in September. It's still so early in the season that some of these mistakes early on we can really pay for at the end if we're not careful.
Is that the reason for like the hesitation on racing today? It's more the long-term thinking for the rest of the season?
Exactly. The long term could be highly affected by what happens this weekend. You know, if you're already redlining, you're already dealing with a minor injury, the dehydration, like Danny was speaking on, the muscle fatigue that could come from that. We could put his hip in an even worse position than it is right now, and who knows how long that could derail his career. So we have to be wise now, and sometimes that's not aligned with what the athlete wants, but that's a part of being a coach, and sometimes you have to push what you think is right, even if it's not what they want.
So still going ahead as normal right now, food-wise, or trying to have some food?
Yeah, we're going to start with the pre-race meal, just because it's something he's like so used to. The pancake is like a daily feature when it comes to a workout, so we'll start with something that he's like really used to and see if he can like keep it down, and then go from there. I'm sure there'll be multiple pancakes in the day. If you can keep this down, we'll try probably like chicken rice in a little bit. And then it's a high possibility there'll be another pancake if all goes well, but yeah, we'll see.
The famous pancake.
It is the famous pancake. Provides the most stress, to be honest with you. It's my least favourite thing to cook.
Sounds different.
Morning. I feel fine.
How are we feeling, mate?
Oh, great. No, 100%. Like, it was just a bit rough. It was a rough night, but I feel better. And I feel like we have lots of time. You know?
If we were to let you race tonight, this would be the biggest miracle yet.
Why else do we do the sport? You know what I'm saying?
The risk-reward ratio, Josh.
But what's the risk? What's the risk? What's the risk?
If
I don't win,
if your musculatory system is dehydrated and your hip gets worse from what you're doing now,
sure,
we're in a bigger hole coming into outdoor season.
For sure. The biggest successes are on the brink of failure.
Did you get any sleep?
I would prefer not to share my Aura scores at this time.
What was it?
58.
I presume that's out of 100.
Yeah. But it was just because I didn't get that much deep sleep.
Josh is still going off of the UK system where he thinks that's a good score.
In the UK, that's a B.
Yeah, exactly. Could I run a world record today? Maybe.
starting to look up now, isn't it? I puked bad at like 2. But other than that, the other ones were pretty simple. Race weight, baby.
The fact we're describing puking as that was the simple one.
Yeah. I mean, look. Most people wouldn't race. But I'm not most people.
Are you going to be okay with stepping onto that line and potentially coming out last?
That is a factor that I risk in every single time that I race. You know? If that's worst case scenario, is that I get last, then it's not that bad.
Worst case scenario is you get last, your hips fucked for the next 2 months.
I get it,
Zia gets it.
The issue is, with Colin not being on board, definitely that's a tough blow to make, for sure. The nice thing was the hip was distracting me from my overall legs and fatigue, and now my sickness is distracting me from my hip. So it could be a good recipe for a successful day.
Brandon said he was worried he slept too well.
Brandon said he slept too well. Well, that's what I was worried about. That's why I pulled back a little bit. Everyone's telling me this is a bad idea, and it almost makes me feel like you guys don't trust me. You know? Parents said it was a bad idea. Brother said it was a bad idea. Lamar's on the fence because she sees my energy.
And so now we're trying to run world record pace on medicine that you've not been taking, a fucked hip, and dehydrated.
I do get it, but it just feels like such a fucking cop-out, you know? Because I don't feel that bad. I don't know, people are ganging up on me, mostly. Just trying to figure out what the best decision is. I thought I was going to be able to convince you guys. Damn it. Yeah. My decision is that I'm going to race. Right, let's revisit this conversation. I'm feeling good now. Starting to feel better and better each time I go. Just FYI, throwing blueberries up feels pretty good. Let's go and run a world record in the mile, shall we?
You're done, Josh.
Okay. I'll accept it.
Alright mate, most importantly, how you feeling today?
Yeah, feeling a little bit better today. I think we made the right decision. Yesterday was very ropey. I tried to, take some medication and it kind of masked some of the stuff that was going on, but still was feeling real bad pretty much throughout the whole day. Couldn't really drink or eat anything or keep anything down, and then just pretty much slept all of yesterday and feeling a little bit better today. So yeah, frustrating for sure, but I think definitely the right decision. I think sometimes as athletes we get so kind of involved in what we're doing in the moment where we kind of forget the big picture, where whenever I go into a race I think it's the biggest deal in the world, and Millrose is such a big event for me every year, so I wanted to get it right and I wanted to be in it, but it just wasn't the right decision, and that's frustrating. But it's why you have the right coaches and people around to tell you when things are just not the way they're supposed to be, and the race won't go the way that you want it to either, because of illnesses, injuries, whatever. So yeah, frustrating for sure, but I know it's the right decision. It just doesn't sit right when you don't go out and perform. So yeah, that's frustrating. It just you want to you watch those races and you're like, I think I could have done this or that, and
You know, I think the athletes put a really good show on yesterday, and I want to be a part of that, but it just wasn't my day. You know, the Millrose Games holds a special place for me, but it just, you know, sometimes we got to look at the bigger picture, and I think long term it makes more sense not to race. But it just frustrated me yesterday because I hate. It looked like I just had kind of given up on it, and you know, it doesn't sit well with me. But I shouldn't be going into races not being able to perform as well. So that's why the coaching staff have that kind of authority to say, you know what, like, we don't think this is a good idea. We think this is the wrong move long term, and they have to look at it from an overall, you know, 1,000 feet view as well. So yeah, that's where we're at. Still not sitting super well with me, but I'm feeling a bit better this morning. Still really haven't eaten or drank anything, but the puking has stopped, so that's always good. And so yeah, just get ready for the next one, I guess.